Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel BharathEduTech. In previous video we built on this counter app and managed the state of this variable using useReducer hook, and we learned how to initialize useReducer hook, how to dispatch a function, and based on the action type how to return the new state object in the reducer function. We also added functionality to these three buttons. Increment, it was increasing by 1, decrement decreasing by 1, and when I hit on reset it will be 0. In this video, we are going to make use of useReducer hook to set the value that user enters in this input box and add functionality to this add button. For example, if I am going to enter 10 here and click on add, it should be added to the count value and the value inside the input box should be reset to 0. Okay, so let's do this. So now for this input box, we can go here and see. So the value is value to add, and we have an onChange handler, and I'm calling that as set handler. And here you can see I have also defined the set handler method, and inside that we have a parameter called event. So this event object will hold the value whatever we enter in this input box. So to know more about this event object, you can see my previous video where we built this counter app using useState hook. So I have detailedly explained. So now let's get the value whatever user enters in this input box using this event object. So to get the value, we'll declare a variable num and we'll use event.target.value. So by default, whatever we enter in this input box will be of type string. So to convert that string value to number, we have an inbuilt JavaScript function called number. So we'll use that number. So this will convert the string values to number. So let's console it and see so whether we got the proper value or not. So console.log num. Let's also see the type of this num. So for that we have a inbuilt function called type of. So save this and let's go to the browser, and here I'll open the console and let's type something here. So I'll type 10. You can see so the value is 10 and the type of the value is number. Okay, we have to store this num value to this value to add variable. To do that, first we have to dispatch the function here. So I'm going to dispatch, and this will take a object of property type, and I'm going to call this as set value. Since we are setting the value, I'm going to call this set value, and this will also take in another property called payload, and I'm going to pass our num value here. Okay, so now let's go to the reducer function and let's write quickly. So here if action.type is equal to set value, we are going to return the existing state, plus we are going to make the value to add the present action dot payload. Okay, so whatever you are passing as payload here, so this will be set to value to add once the user types something on this input box. So now that we have set the value from the input box, our next job is to add the functionality to this add button. So once the user click this add button, whatever the value we have entered here, this should be added to this count value. So for that you can see here, so there is a button and there is a non-click event, and I am calling that as add handler, and also I have defined add handler. And to add functionality, first we have to dispatch the function here. I'll dispatch here, so I'm going to call this as type add value. Okay, so let's go to the reducer function, and here let's write if action.type is equal to add value, we are going to return the existing state, plus we are going to make the count value. So the present count value is equal to the present count state.count plus whatever the present state dot value to add is. Okay, and then we are going to set the value to add to 0. Okay, so save it and let's go to the browser, refresh it, and you can see the present count value is 10. I'm going to type 10 here and click on add. You can see 10 plus 10 is 20, and whatever the value we have entered in the input box is erased and reset to 0. So now there is a small bug in our code. You can see in this input box, if I click on backspace, this 0 will never go off. So to get rid of this, we can come into this set handler. So if user enters something, let it be, or if they don't enter anything, we'll set it to an empty string. Okay, so now save it and let's go to the browser, and you can now see if I enter backspace, the 0 will go off and you can enter anything and click on add. Now let's make our code more clean and understandable by doing some refactoring. So first I'll get rid of this commented code. Okay, and instead of this if case, so there are lots of if case, we can use switch statements. So I'll come and declare switch. So we are comparing action dot type, and we'll use case. So case increment, we are going to return. You can copy this block, you can paste here. And also this switch case will have default condition. So default, we are going to just return the state. You can also throw the error, but it's always good to just return the state. So now let's copy this case 5 times. So you can click shift alt and downwards key. So and I'll change this to decrement. We can make this -1. We'll change it to reset. We'll make the count value 0. And here we can call this as set value. And let's copy the set value return statement here. And we'll just paste. The last one is add value. And we'll do the same thing. We're going to copy the return statement. We'll just add here, paste here. Okay, so now let's get rid of this all the if statements. Save it and let's go to the browser. You can see all the functions are working exactly the same. Okay, so now another refactoring is this hard coded values. So now see, let's see if I mistakenly made a typo here. So just I'll type increment, and here the dispatch is increment. So save it and go to the browser. Now if I click on increment, nothing will happen. So this is the most common error when we use useReducer hook. So to get rid of this, it's better to always declare it as a constant. So I'll call this as increment, and we can type increment. Okay, so now let's pass this increment value here. So increment, and also in this dispatch function increment. Okay, so now let's do this for all the remaining 4. So again shift alt downwards key. So I'm going to call this as decrement. Third one is reset. Fourth one is set value. The last one is add value. I'm gonna call add value. Okay, so let's pass this. So this is decrement, so I'm going to replace this decrement by decrement, and also in the dispatch function this decrement by decrement, and reset by reset, set value by set value, and add value by add value constant. Okay, yeah, so let's change here also. So add value, this is set value, and this is reset. So save it. Let's go to the browser, and you can see everything is working fine. So hope you had a clear idea about how to use useReducer hook, how to initialize it, how to dispatch the function, and based on action type, how to override the state object and return it. So in the next video, we are going to build on the same counter app, but instead of using useReducer hook to manage the state value, we are going to make use of useContext hook. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. For more videos like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel.